As we wrap up this terrific hour, I want to spend a couple of minutes and just get some closing comments from you folks. Dr. Yazwinski, can we start with you? What are some of your thoughts?
Oh, I've got a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to probably forget the vast majority of them, but initially I like to say that worms are important. If you got cattle and they're on grass, then worms are important. These worms, they cause direct destruction where they are. They cause inflammation. They destroy tissue. In addition to that, they skew up the immune system of the animal. They kind of take the animal's immune system away from the small bugs like the viruses and bacteria, and they shift that immune system over to worms. They almost cause like an allergic reaction going on inside the whole intestinal tract and the lung and the liver, depending on where you have those worms. We got about 13 different worms that infect our cattle in the United States. So it's a definite problem. You don't see it because it's a subclinical problem. Very rarely do you get to see a clinical case of worms. Where they're important is your bottom line. They are taking money away from you. So you just see that at the end of your production system. You ought to find out what drug works on your operation and use those drugs, and hopefully rotate those drugs on an annual basis so that a little bit of resistance you get one year will kind of be killed off the next year with a different product. So hopefully you'll find 2 drugs that work that you can rotate. In order to do that, you have to do a good fecal egg count reduction test on your operation to see what works and what doesn't work. Strategically deworm, spring and fall for all replacement animals. When the animals freshen, hit the mama cow right around when she freshens. Stocker operators, you got a complex problem there because you got to treat when the animals show up because you don't want anyone else's worms. And depending on how quickly animals get reinfected, you're going to have to retreat those animals in order to get a good stocker crop of animals. Feedlot people, you got to deworm when they show up so that you're not feeding worms all the way through the feedlot cycle.
Especially with
so
$6 corn.
That's a synopsis of the tops of the stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's involved with worm control.
That's great. Dr. Woodruff, what would you add?
I would conclude with the fact that producers should get a good working relationship with their veterinarian that can help them with assessing if they do have a parasite problem, determining which species is involved, and then developing a sound parasite control program that makes sense for that operation.
Dr. Navarre, what are some of your closing thoughts about parasite control?
I think the main thing that producers need to realize is there's no cookbook formula for Louisiana, for a region. It's an individual producer's operation. They need to come up with a program that works for them. And then the other thing to think about is investing in some scales. The biggest problem I see is that producers underdose those animals, and not only are they not getting the benefit of that product, that can lead to more resistance problems.
All of us just have 1,200-pound cows, right?
That's right.
Dr. Wade, what would you share with us?
My take-home message would be I want producers to grab this parasite problem, take it in hand. Don't sit back and act like it's not something that's happening on their farm, because it is. And like Dr. Yazwinski said, in most cases it's a subclinical issue where you really may not know you have a problem, and it's there just festering and beginning to get stronger and stronger and stronger.
Well, this has been an outstanding show, and I really, really appreciate all the expertise that you've brought to this topic. Now, for more information about the parasite control products you've heard about today, or to learn more about Boehringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Incorporated's efforts with the Wounded Warrior Project, please go to our website. It's cattlemantocattleman.org.